Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming, and this is the overview of all of my troops for my Iron Hands. So forgive the shaky cam, it's actually quite hard to get this amount of miniatures in on a sort of a static tripod or anything like that. So again, those of you who've been following the channel for quite some time would have seen an awful lot of these guys. These are just my general sort of tactical marines, some sergeants. I've got some options, which is why there's a couple of spare there at the back, whether I was running missile launcher or a melter gun, or if I wanted to swap out the sergeant, because having a combi melter and a power fist on a sergeant in 8th edition is a little bit overkill. He was more designed for Horus Heresy, to be fair, but I can still slot him in, you can still use him. So that's all of those guys there. These ones were the first ones which I painted as I got back into the hobby back in sort of 6th, 7th edition. I'm not sure if it was 7th edition, but back in 6th edition you only had to have 2 troops. So I used to basically just run 10 Marines and then fill up my force with everything else. But obviously, as the editions have gone on, there's more reliance on troops, hence there has been expansion here. So I mean, we've got, what's this, is that 60? Yeah, 60, no, 30, 40, yeah, 42 Marines there. At the front here, this is what I have finished most recently. So this is my Intercessor squad. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, you would have seen some work in progress shots of these guys. So I'll just take you along them individually. Now, I've actually painted these. If you're wondering why these guys have got the white on top of the helmet, I've painted these to be veterans on the tabletop. I don't obviously need to spend the CP to get the veterans. I can just run them like normal intercessors, but I thought if I do want to use them as veterans, then that will look quite cool. And that is that's basically from the new Iron Hands supplement. It gives you some good sort of visual guides as to sort of how their armour works. So they have this on their knee pad now, the veteran symbol, and then the veteran colouring on there. I think it used to be command and veterans that used to have the white bit on top of the helmet. Now command has completely white helmets. So you've seen in the last video that my newer captain, his helmet was completely white, so that was the reason for that. So this first guy here, he's got a slight alteration. He's basically got a little wire sticking out of his leg. Again, that's just a 1mm Zing Industry wire. And then his head, I built these all before the upgrade kits came out, so I had to improvise and make some of my own. So these are made out of styrene rod of different sizes, like I did with the leg in the captain. But it was basically just drill into that eye socket and then stick a styrene rod in there. I think it's probably 1.5mm, 2mm, that, and then just build some others of different sizes around there. Sorry, the camera's a bit blurry, but you can achieve that quite easily. So every single one of these guys has got some kind of alteration to the helmet, just to show that he's veterans, because in the fluff of the Iron Hands, veterans are very heavily augmented with bionics. So I wanted to represent that in this squad. So he's got obviously the bionic eyes, but he's also got some things on his legs as well. So just turn him around so you can see what he's got. So I've just put these extra sort of almost like a little piston or something like that. I was inspired by some of the Horus Heresy models that tend to do things like that. So that is that one there. Next along, this guy has a slightly different bionic eye setup on the helmet. He's got a foot replacement. Wherever I've done a foot replacement, generally I've done some extra sort of bionics on the legs, so trust me to pick the only one where I couldn't be bothered to do it. But yeah, that's that one. Next along, we have the first of the grenade launchers, and he has just got the bionic leg with the wire coming out there, and then the bionic eyes, because obviously he's got quite a flashy looking gun. I didn't think it needed any sort of other cybernetics or anything like that on him to make him stand out. Next we've got the Veteran Sergeant. Now again, in the book, the helmet details have changed slightly in this edition. So the Veteran Sergeant has the full sort of stripe all the way down. So I really wanted that to represent that on this model. I was also inspired by the front cover of the new Iron Hands supplement. There's a the guy on the front of that, he's basically got a yellow bionic eye, and I can't remember ever seeing any Games Workshop artwork where the bionic eye is yellow. It's always like a green or a red. I think I've seen a blue, but I've never seen a yellow. So I thought, oh, I'll do a yellow. So that's why I've done that on him. This guy's got a few little. Quite a few. I went a bit to school on this one with the bionics. So he's got a bionic arm. That's from your Hellblaster kit. I cut off the plasma pistol, and then obviously I stuck his bolt rifle on. There is a picture of an Iron Hands character that it's like from a few editions ago. But there's a guy and he's got basically a big bionic eye, and he's holding his bolt gun like that, but also in this hand he's got another bolt gun, so he's like, shooting his enemy with two big bolt guns, and so I was kind of inspired to do that with this gun here. At least I thought that looked quite cool. The weapon here, because we now know that Intercessor Sergeants can take Thunderhammers. Please do not errata that or FAQ that in any way, so we can't Games Workshop, because obviously I've converted one now and I would like to be able to use him. So yeah, that's a Thunderhammer. That is a Forge World Horus Heresy upgrade kit, which I've just basically cut the arm off and pinned it all the way through, just to make sure that it's it's not going to sort of snap off. His backpack, that is a vehicle upgrade kit, the radar dish, and I've just basically drilled a hole, put a pin, a little bit of styrene rod, and built it up like that. So I think he looks pretty cool. Quite happy with how he came out. I'm quite happy with the whole squad. I didn't take absolutely tons of time on these guys, but I still think that they've come out quite nicely. This guy, the foot there that you can see, that was from one of the original Iron Hands upgrade kits, the Finecast one. So I've just literally chopped the foot off and replaced it. And then again, he's got the little styrene rod bionic eyes, and again I've gone with the yellow. I think it looks quite nice. And the little aerials, I was kind of inspired by the Vanguard Marines that have got all these little aerials and doodads across the top of their backpack. So I thought, well, actually that sort of ties in quite well. It looks like all these guys are able to communicate with each other in some sort of way through their bionic implants or their aerials and stuff like that. So these areas are actually you'll only be able to recreate this yourself if you're as old as me, and I say that because they're actually antenna from Battlefleet Gothic ships, which has been out of print for about 10 years, something like that, maybe even longer. Hopefully they'll bring it back. It is a great game, but anyway, there we go. Next one along, little just a simple bionic eye upgrade there, and I think, has he got a he's got something in his leg. So that there, if you see, you can actually see all the way through it. So I've just literally cut the leg, because if you've built Intercessors, you'll know that this sort of shin pad is all one piece and you glue that on afterwards. So I just chopped out a chunk out of his leg, and then this is sort of styrene rod. I put a styrene plate and then cut it down to size, and then I've put some styrene rod and some guitar wire and stuff like that in there, just to, you know, it's just for artistic impression really, rather than serving any purpose. Just makes him look a bit more unique there. Next guy along, bionic eye, a little bit of an aerial, and he's got the change in the foot, and he should have, yeah, he's got the cable at the back of his leg. Again, painted all these cables using Darren Latham's technique, so you can see it's sort of brown as it goes in and brown there. That just makes such a massive difference when you're painting these types of cable. It was, you know, one of those things that you don't even sort of realise until it's actually pointed out to you that, you know, that does make a massive difference. We're getting close to the end of the squad now, so we've got the second of the grenade launcher guys, and he's got his bionic eye and his little aerial on his backpack, but that's pretty much all he has, because again, he's got the gun, he looks a bit special. So this one here, this has got a slightly more sort of conversion work, so to speak. So he's got the helmet with the bionic eye, but also this arm here, I completely cut his arm off, and then that is 3 pieces of styrene rod, sort of all put together to look like a little bit of a bionic arm. And then he's got the bionic leg with a wire coming out. So that is all of those guys. So there we go. A quick overview of all of my Iron Hands troops choices. Obviously I'm covering the rest of the army in these videos, but I'll leave it up to you. What do you want me to put up next? Do you want fast attack? Do you want elite? Do you want heavy support? Do you want dedicated transport? Looking round at what else I've got, do you want super heavy? Let me know in the comments below. The one that gets the most votes will be the one which I upload next. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.